Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful, beautiful world. Today I have a very, very special guest and I'm so excited. Everyone, I want to introduce you to Magdalene Adenaike. Magdalene, I'm going to say hi to you first. But first, I'm going to say who you are because you're so inspirational woman. For everyone who has not been on my show and doesn't know Magdalene, Magdalene is the founder of the charity organization Music Relief. They work with super amazing children who were kicked out of school or almost kicked out of school and the system, and they're called problematic and labeled as problematic because of their anger and anxiety or any kind of mental issues. Magdalene is also the receiver of the Be Mogul award, which is celebrating Black entrepreneurs in the United Kingdom, which is a huge award, very well recognized. She's an author of an amazing book. Check it out in the description of this event. So I can talk about you for ages, but hello, Magdalene, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Liliana. It's lovely to be here. I'm excited to be here, actually.
Absolutely. I can't wait to start. How you feel, first of all, congratulations for becoming a TEDx speaker. You became officially to the world TEDx speaker this Monday. What's the feeling?
It was something else. It was a mixture of emotions, truly a mixture of emotion. But at the helm of it all, it was joy. It was just joy because it's been a journey and a half. Yes, it's been a journey.
I love it. And for the fact also that in your TED Talk, everyone, please go and watch her TED Talk. It's in the description of this live podcast. So go and check it out right after the show because you really want to listen to her TED Talk, which is super inspirational about how we create leaders from these problematic kids, what everyone is calling them problematic, but actually what Magdalene see in them is as future leaders, as unicorns walking around and no one is paying attention to them. Why did you choose this topic actually?
I chose this topic because it's very personal to me, and just kind of in my line of work and over the years, for over 11 years doing this work and just meeting various people, it just something that came naturally to me, and the understanding that we are actually all leaders, because the society that we live in wants to give us an impression that there is this type of leaders and it's this people that are leaders and the rest of us are followers. Actually, we are all leaders, whether young or old. It's just for you to be able to tap into your inner self and understand your purpose, and you will understand what I'm saying, that you are a leader.
Yeah. What I love about your TED Talk is that you have a very distinguished message and like wisdom put in one very short phrase, which is real leaders embrace the superpowers of others. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, it's again going back to my own personal story and just kind of snippets from the TED Talk. So for those who've not heard it, obviously I'm going to give you a bit, then you go and watch the rest. It's a transitional journey. So coming from Africa, and I talked a bit about it within the talk, and I gave an example of how I was back home in Nigeria. For someone at a young age, I think between the ages of 6 and 8, already leading Sunday school. So it's not about the fact that it was Sunday school, but the fact that I was in front of an audience leading them. That was the main focus. Being the person to be able to organize all of this within my neighborhood, and just in a sense, entering that leadership role and doing youth work without even knowing the terminology. That for me was phenomenal. And then transitioning from my hometown, my home country, to the UK. First and foremost, we came in March. It was freezing cold. I remember coming out the plane, feeling the cold. I was like, oh no, I'm going back. I'm going back into that plane, getting on
Where
the.
the hell did I come?
It was cold in 1992. I don't know if you just check the weather back then. March 1992, it was freezing, absolutely freezing. So yeah, just all of that. And then coming into a system that was obviously totally different. Food is different. The way people speak is different. The way the clothing is different because everyone is wearing coats. I'm coming from a hot climate. And so coming from all of that and going straight into school, to primary school, and then being bullied because of the way I spoke. This was something that was never an issue before. It was a major thing. And so understanding that and the learning that I got, obviously I spoke about it in what my mom said about leaders and followers, that for me was phenomenal, because it doesn't register to me at 11 years old, but it registered to me all those years later, even starting a charity. And then at that point in time when we're in the school with Joy, that's not her real name, but we just say Joy for now. And then just being able to see the transformation. It's just like you're looking at what's it called, a butterfly, when it transitions from what does it transition from? It transitions from something into a butterfly. Yeah, just seeing that,
Yeah.
that change, that change,
That's cool.
it was
Yeah.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And for me, one of the strongest, like, it was like a huge wow moment, because I was the lucky one who was the first one reading your script basically for TEDx before you even, get on stage. And we're going to talk about your TEDx journey specifically. But when I was reading your script and I was reading that lesson from your mom, that there are people who are leaders and people who are followers, and there will be always people who are going to follow the leaders and mimic them and just do exactly what the leaders are doing. That was like, oh my God, your mom is like a gem basically to teach you as a girl such kind of a lesson. Obviously didn't that much sink in your head, like yeah, they're leaders and followers at that point, but definitely it was like that is like huge, and I always have goosebumps when I think about that specific moment from your TED Talk. I'm going to pause for a second. Jasmine is saying, hello, ladies. Good
Hi,
morning,
Jasmine.
Jasmine, to another Londoner. It's so funny. Like, all of us are Londoners, but different sides of London. And now, we're saying hi
Yes.
on LinkedIn. And Vera Buinenko is saying, "Vor red." It is, yes, it's really bright red. That's my background color, is my brown color. So here we go. So Jasmine is saying it is from the caterpillar. Yes.
Yes, caterpillar. Thank you, Jasmine. My mind just went blank. Thank
I
you.
know, mine too. It's the bugs going to a butterfly.
Exactly. I knew it transformed from
Jasmine.
something.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your TEDx journey. There's so many people out there who wants to become TEDx speaker, and they just like, they kind of see it and think like they're constant. And I'm sure you most probably went through that period. I went through that period before I became TEDx speaker. I was imagining myself being on stage and speaking about this and about this, but I didn't take the action to actually apply and become a TEDx speaker indeed. And there are also people who are thinking like, oh yeah, this is a very easy process, and people who are like, no, this is too difficult for me, right? So tell me, how was your journey?
My journey was a long one. It was a very long one. I'm just going to make it as concise as possible. The seed was sown to become a TEDx speaker, I think, probably about 3 years ago. That's when the seed was sown. And I remember I watched different TEDx talks, but the one that really stood out for me was one particular lady that when she spoke, she just happens to also be Nigerian as well, Chimamanda Adozie. And so when I listened to her TEDx, the first one, I was like, I became so hungry. I was like, oh my God, I need to find more, more, more. And so that's where that seed was sown. And then I saw her and I was admiring her on the stage. And I knew I'd already been speaking and doing other stuff in my life and in my professional work. And I knew that, you know what, I want to be a TEDx speaker, but I didn't know about how to go about it. So you were saying that you didn't apply, but I didn't even know that you had to apply. So I was just seeing all of this and I was just putting it out there. And my vision for the year, I want to be a TEDx speaker. Up until, so let me just fast track until last year. And again, I said, you know what, the new year has started. Yes, we're in lockdown, but this year I'm going to be a TEDx speaker. And that's what I said. And just like that, one beautiful afternoon, I got this message that came through from yourself. And it was just like, oh my God, this is so unreal. And so I went on that lunchtime course with yourself and then registered for the course. And it was just phenomenal. That's where the journey started. That's when. And I just, the way you broke it down to say, okay, these are the things. And so everything that I had in my mind to think that, yeah, I can just roll up on stage and speak. No, it does not work like that. There's more to it than that. And so, yes, I remember I had a different topic, and then we were talking about it and fine tuning the talk and everything. At some point, to be honest with you, Billy, and let me just confess now, I was just like, you know what, forget this. I'm not gonna bother anymore. Even though I'd paid, I was like, just forget it, doesn't matter. But yeah, it took a whole year from last year when we did the training to a year later, January 19th. That's when I finally did the talk. It was a dream come true.
Yeah, just for all of you watching right now, let me just explain on the background story from the other side, right? I think there were about 28 people what I chose personally, and I picked them from LinkedIn, and I sent them this email invitation to say there is a course which starts in January if you would want to jump in, and that is the crash course where Magdalene jumped in and took basically that
leap of faith
towards the TEDx. And the course was 4 weeks basically, so we were done pretty much by end of February.
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, did you apply? Like we were constantly speaking, like, okay, how is going with the application? And it was like, oh no, one event was canceled. The other one was canceled as well. And one was like moved to another date. It was like constantly something going on, until to the point of one day, a huge thank you to Mitzi Williams. She is the license holder of TEDx Made Marian Way, and I know her through another client of mine. And I was speaking with Mitzi, and Mitzi was like, I need to postpone the event. I was like, oh no, it's another one, another event postponed because of, I mean, totally, like all of us is like at some point is really like almost giving up, and I totally understand organizers almost giving up to cancel all the TEDx events. That was last year, right? And she was like, the whole what she hired was like saying that they cannot run any kind of events because of more restrictions, and she needs to find a new location and a new venue, and you know, like it's, and she already prepaid that venue and all that. And I was like, so when is the new date? And that was originally was actually planned for October, and then she said, oh, it's gonna be in January, like mid-January at some point. I was like, oh my god, that's another year basically, because it's October. And I was like, maybe she's gonna move it for December or something like this. And I was already picturing how I'm gonna call you and say, like, you're gonna be on stage next month, right? and then she passed the message through the whole group of speakers, and I think 2 of them dropped out because they were like, we cannot do the new date. There was some like kind of traveling whatsoever. And I was like, well, happy days, I've got the best person for you. So I call Mitzi. I was like, I've got a really good speaker for you. And that's when I introduced Magdalene to TEDx Made Marian Way. And that's how Magdalene got to the January one, which was like literally 1 year cycle.
Yeah, 1 year later. And even before that as well, when we were having our talks behind the scene, that because of the fact that they were thinking that there's going to be a lockdown. So we were already thinking like, oh my God, we might have to postpone that date again or probably do it online. And I was like, no, not online. You have to have that feel. You have to have the experience. It's all part of the whole excitement.
Yeah, exactly. Let me put Jasmine saying wow for some reason. I can't go up with all the comments, but yeah, I will. Thank you so much, Jasmine. And great. So when, you know what, because there was such a huge time gap between passing the course and then getting on stage, what tell us about like your preparation for practicing, like how you practice, and you know, from behind the scenes stories, because I know they're quite few, and like after this preparation for the day itself, like outfit and you know everything
Yeah,
for the day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. In terms of after the course, so let me just backtrack. After the course, and then you gave us the assignment to be searching for venues. I began doing that because I was high on. Yeah, we've just finished the course, so the enthusiasm was really high, and I was doing. That. And the more I wasn't getting any responses, it began to dwindle. However, what I did say, I remember I was speaking to my coach last year, and she said, "What do you want to do?" And I said to her, "I want to do a TED talk. I want to do a TED talk." And she said, "Okay, before we get to TED talk and getting a confirmation, do more live videos in terms of speaking and videos, even if you don't get any invitation, just be doing some talks." And I began to do that, and I was doing quite a lot of that, and I was posting on LinkedIn because I use LinkedIn quite a lot, and I was posting on LinkedIn. And then that's how I was preparing myself. So I had the script, but I wasn't actually going through my script. So I just kind of left the script there until obviously we had the discussion. And then it was definitely certain that I was going to be speaking on the 19th. And I said to myself, okay, Magdalene, we got to get to the scripts now. And it's, I want to say something for anybody who is a speaker. It's one thing to go on stage and just speak, but there is a science behind speaking and speaking well and ensuring that the message that you need to pass on is definitely passed on, because you don't want to go on stage and then come off and be like, oh, I should have said this, especially if you're not using any prompts, you're not having a PowerPoint slide or flip chart, anything, and you're having to remember it. So for me, being a musician and a singer, so to be able to remember stuff already was okay for me. So I was like, okay. So when I started to study and go for my scripters, just only during the Christmas holidays, that was when I was like, okay, I've got some downtime from work. That was it. And I began to apply it into as a song, because when I speak to people, especially when I put on the hat as vocal coach, I tell people that when we're actually singing when we are speaking, but we've just taken away the melody. And I
Yeah.
said, okay, if I'm doing that for others, I need to be able to apply that to myself. So every day I'll say, okay, let me break it down into different chunks and begin to learn it and take it. So the kids were like, oh God, still just hearing me over and over and over again. Yeah, but that's how I did it over the Christmas holiday up until the new year, and just continued that. Even on the day, my way there on the train, I got it so well. I had the paper in front of me because I printed it out, but I was like, I'm just going to leave the paper there. But I had it. I was I was ready. By that point, I was ready because I had put the time. So I won't advise it to everybody, but it worked for me. So that short frame of time between the Christmas holiday and the 19th of Jan, that worked for me, but it might not be for everybody else.
Yeah, we are different. We remember different way. Like our brains work in a slightly different way. There is a process how the brain remember, but then for some people it takes longer time, and for some people much shorter time. So yeah, Jasmine, you're saying I can't believe it took you a year. Consistency,
Yes.
persistent.
Yes. Yes. It's
These are
even more
really,
than that, Jasmine, because like I said, the seed was sown some 2, 3 years ago. So yeah, it's been a long time, but nothing easy, nothing good comes easy. When you want something, you have to you continue to push and persevere. Eventually, it will come.
yeah. Well, you don't have a choice. When your coach calls you and say you're going to be on stage, you don't
Yes.
say no. Actually, I changed my mind. You say yes.
No.
When? Like first
Exactly.
you say yes, and then you say when. As long
Exactly.
as it's not tomorrow, I'm gonna be there. Right? You just absolutely. Hi, Gail. Gail is from Canada. Good morning, Canada.
Hi,
Gail is
girl.
absolutely amazing. Okay, so we are very close to the end of our interview. Let me ask you this: what is next for Magdalene Adenaike after becoming a TEDx speaker and
Oh God.
landing?
Oh wow. There's so many things in the pipeline that I wish I could speak on, but I can't because it's still in the elementary phases. So we need to kind of build it. But there are big things that are coming. And again, I remember I said earlier on, nothing good comes easy. You need to keep pushing. And the TED Talk, by reason of doing that TED Talk, it has fast tracked that dream. And that dream was something that started almost 8 years ago. So that's
Mm.
something, just watch this space. It's going to come in such a way that you're going to see it. Everyone's going to see it. So let me not go too much. But in terms of other steps as well, it's the opportunity that has come for me is that I have more opportunities for speaking engagements. I have been I've been given new appointments that I didn't even go looking for. I've been given those appointments, which is fantastic. So it's Magdalene coming up with a whole lot of different hats, but I've been used to juggling different hats already. So it's stretching me to another level. But also it's also positioned me in a leadership role that I already knew that I had without waiting for validation from other people. But I guess some people, like according to my talk, where we all must be leaders, some people are leaders and some people are followers, they needed to see this TED talk in order for them to say, oh, okay, she's been saying it, but actually she is a leader. So in terms of that, it has pushed me to that role of an expert within my field in the empowerment of young people and the grassroots community. So that way there's that sense of, okay, we need to get your opinion matter. So we want to hear from you. So what's next for Magdalene is big things that are coming up. Like I said, there's one particular one I can't talk about right now, but the world will see it. But yeah, in terms of work-wise, it's about appointments and about more speaking engagements and training and consultations.
That's why you became a TEDx speaker, because you are a leader. You just needed a stage to show it to the world as of what type of leader you are, what is inside here to take it out on stage and really share it with the world. And I absolutely love it. And I'm so happy that you've got all these speaking engagements now, thanks to TEDx and all the new doors opening. Sorry you can't mention all of them, but that's like, we're going to totally follow you on LinkedIn to know what is going on, right?
It took a
For
little
all
while,
of
but
you, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Gary saying arriving late, you'll have to find the replay. Yes, please. And Charlotte is saying, excellent, Magdalene, you deserve every opportunity life throws
Charlotte,
you.
yeah, yeah, Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte. Charlotte is part of the success journey. So definitely.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. That is absolutely great. For all of you who did not watch Magdalene's TED Talk, the link is in the description right here on that post. So go and find it and watch the TED Talk. And especially, like, my personal favorite moment is when Magdalene's mom is teaching her the great lesson when she was a kid. She was like, the mom was teaching Magdalene the lesson that they're leaders and followers. And please go and watch it, because that is super, super strong. I mean, I love your whole TED talk, and every story what you share is super, super strong. And for all of you who is going to watch it today, put in the comments below what is your favorite takeaway from what you learned from her TED talk, because
And,
that is going to be, I promise you, it's going to be like, oh my God, I never thought about this. And like, oh my God, Magdalene had an amazing mom.
and also, just to quickly say, is the fact that the outfit I wore, because if when you were talking about the TED talk, obviously I talked about bullying and coming from Africa. My outfit was actually my mom's outfit, and it was intentional. I decided that it's something I wanted to wear. I just needed to adjust some bits, but she's now gone. She's no longer with us, but I wanted to wear that to make a statement, because I talk about accent and people laughing at the accent. So it was about a statement, but also about representing her and her memory and all that she stood for. So that for me, that day was a mixture of emotions. So you people see and hear what you present, but they don't know what's going on inside. So inside it was a mixture of emotions. I got off the stage, went to get changed, and I broke down. I
Hey,
broke down. I broke down because I know that if she was still with us, she would have traveled with me no matter what. So it was a mixture of emotions, and I wanted to make a statement and make sure that, you know what, no matter what, just be you.
Mm. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. I will go through very quickly through the chat. So Jasmine is saying, I'm gonna watch, like, and comment it. Well done. Gary is saying, love how supportive you are, Biljana, and what you do to raise TEDx brand. Thank you so much. And Jasmine, Biljana, you're amazing to work with
Yeah,
on TEDx.
you
Yeah,
are.
I
Juliana,
love.
you are. You are.
And Gary is saying good morning to all of you who are on stage with Magdalene and on the chat. So do connect with Gail Robertson. She is the curiosity person, I can tell you. She's absolutely amazing. Go check her out as well. And she will be a TEDx speaker very soon as well, I can promise you. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for coming and joining my Friday live podcast. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here and to also share your story, your TEDx story with the world, because all the time we see, the sparks and the glittering moments on stage, but we don't know what happened behind the scene.
The tears and the sweat.
But also the pride and the joy of you standing on stage in full power. Remember that when we were discussing the first time when we actually met online, and we were like, I said, my goal is when you stand on stage to be in full power.
Yeah.
And you said, it's okay, I'm a singer.
Yep, I am a singer. Yes, exactly. So I'm just representing, just taking away the melody and giving you the words, giving you the lyrics.
Absolutely. We're going to leave you with this. Take away the melody today and leave it with the lyrics only. Wishing you an amazing Friday and weekend ahead, wherever you are around the world. Magdalene, any final words?
I just want to say thank you so much, Biljana. You truly are a blessing. You really are. And to every single person out there who is on live now, who will watch the replay, who will watch my TEDx talk, and to wherever you are in the world and whatever you are in your life's journey, don't ever give up. It's not happened yet. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Whatever that thing is, to become a TEDx speaker, whatever, don't give up. Keep going. I believe in you.
I'm going to leave it with this. Sending you love and energy to all of you. And I'm going to see you next Friday for the soon to be a TEDx speaker podcast. See you.